Lakeside Dental Clinic, Go Island, is brought to you by Lakeside Dental Clinic.
I think we're holding up the show here. We're hanging out at the McMillan Arts Centre in Parksville today. Christmas from the Harp and a look at the work of the Oceanside Community Arts Council. Pet-friendly Nanaimo, the city ranks high. A mean hook and a kind heart in chasing the old school sound. You are watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4, and we're here at the intermission of a harp performance from Patt Scrivener. We're going to interview her later on this edition of Go Island and talk about all the work and look at some of the beauty created here at the McMillan Arts Centre in Parksville. But we're heading back down to Nanaimo now. Did you know that it is ranked as one of the top 10 most pet-friendly cities in Canada? It's true. Here's Kelly Robinson. Joe Straka is president of the Oceanside Community Arts Council. We're here inside the McMillan Arts Centre, and I think one of the first things we want to do is make the difference between the Arts Council and this building.
Perfect. The building is a building. It's a venue. It's a place where our members show their artwork, whatever it is, or there's music here as well. The Arts Council is it's a BC kind of a construct, and our council takes in all of District 69. And the object of a council is to introduce people to arts, culture, and music in any way we can, wherever we can. It doesn't have to be in this building. Okay,
and you are doing a lot of cultural outreach in the community, if I can call it that. How so?
Well, many of our artists now have their work in other facilities at the health center, the new health center, Arts Cafe. We're working with the Bayside to see if we can get it in there, also the Beach Club. And we are now moving out with our classical music series to hold performances outside of the MAC. This time it's at the Knox United Church.
Now I remember Joe came into our studios in Nanaimo very excited, having spent a lot of time working on the classical music series, because to launch something like that on a subscription basis right out of the gate, and you are finding success.
We are. Subscription-based musical series are very rare. They take hold or they don't. It's either black or white. And because people have to commit to all three. And sometimes, especially here, people go south in the wintertime and so they will miss a few of the series and they won't do it. But there are enough people here that we have a very, very captured group now. They saw the first two performances. They're delighted with what they saw, and they're already signing up for next year.
Excellent. I'm going to throw a question at you that I didn't prepare you for, because it comes down to why do any and all of this? What is the value as a human being, just a little question, about having arts and culture in our lives?
And that's a great question, and it could go on for hours, but I'll try to do this. When you walk into a room like this room, something will catch your eye. There's such a variety of stuff in this room, arts, jewelry, but it will catch your eye, and you will go over and you will look at it, and all of a sudden there's an emotionality of you and that piece, whatever it is. Other people will come in the room and they'll walk right by it. Something else might catch their attention, or not at all. That's why we say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. All of a sudden there is a connection between a human being and a piece of art, or music, same thing. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring that emotional connection between art, culture, and the people.
Excellent, and you're doing a fine job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I've shared this story before, but someone once told me when experiencing art and culture in whatever form it might take, they use the phrase, it'll move you, or it moved me. And I thought that was a bit fluffy, and I didn't really understand what it meant until it actually is moving you from one emotional place or place of thought to another. And you don't come away in the same place.
Excellent.
Within yourself as when you entered. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're moving from arts and culture into boxing. We're heading down to Victoria with a very inspiring story from one of our new staff members, Kevin Chirac. still to come, a kind heart and a killer punch in Saanich, a look at small business in BC, and chasing the perfect tone. A feel-good story with a lot of spirit out of Victoria. Thank you, Kevin. Moving now from boxing and giving yourself to others to the business sector. Now, Go Higher looks at the small business sector, which actually accounts for 55% of private sector employment in the province, and that in turn provides almost 32% of all wages paid to workers in British Columbia, and that makes it pretty vital to our economy. Here now is Dunya Tosi. Patt Scrivener is a harpist, and when I think and hear harp music, I think very light. I think magical and fairies somehow. How do you describe the music from a harp?
It certainly can be magical and fairy light, but it can also be very rhythmic and have Latin flavor as well, so it can be jazzy.
What drew you to this instrument in the first place?
Oh, well, that goes back a long way and maybe before your time, but
oh, you'd be surprised.
The Friendly Giant had to be really instrumental, listening to the harp and the drawbridge. That was my favorite part of the show, yeah.
Now you have played other instruments, yeah, but you keep coming back and are now focusing on the harp. Why is that?
The harp is something that just really speaks to me, and I don't know, it's just such a magical instrument to play. It speaks to your heart, really, just the vibrations of the string. It has a very healing quality.
Mm-hmm. It's very unique, a string instrument, but so large. Is it unique from other string instruments in other ways besides the appearance? And maybe I'm looking for a little bit of a technical insight.
Well, I think that it's unique in the sense that it has a lot more strings than other stringed instruments, and it's an asymmetrical instrument to play, so that makes it very challenging over other instruments.
And you read music the same way and rehearse and practice the same way? Do you think most people in the audience know if you're doing a good job or not?
I hope not.
Because if you're not expert at the instrument itself, would you notice any errors? Or do you have to be an expert to, I think you know what I'm getting at.
You have to, errors have to be really pronounced to sound bad on the harp. That is a good thing about it. It's hard to make it sound bad.
Is it a good instrument for people who maybe don't play an instrument now, who want to get into it then?
Sure, absolutely. There's no time like the present to learn any instrument, but the harp is something that you can play simply and beautifully without a lot of skill.
Is it raising in popularity, do you think, for people wanting to play and listen?
There's a lot of harpists out there that pretty much keep hidden, but there's a lot of us.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of harp builders too, right here in Vancouver Island.
Oh, was this one made locally?
This one's from Alberta.
That's what I get for asking all these yes and no questions, right? Well, thank you for sharing your music with us today, Pat. We're going to throw things over now to music of a very different sort. There's a man in Arrington who has dedicated a lot of time to chasing the perfect tone, Electrified. Here's Raymond Albert. A huge shout out and thank you to Raymond Albert. He worked very hard, put a lot of heart and soul into that story, and he's the guy who sits in the edit bay packaging Go Island day after day. He probably gets sick of my voice, sick of my face. Raymond, show him you're there. Okay, that'll work. Thanks for watching this edition of Go Island. We'll see you next time.
Lakeside Dental Clinic Go Island is brought to you by Lakeside Dental Clinic, a division of the Vancouver Island Implant Centre, delivering dental services, including dental implants and sedation dentistry, all under one roof. Clothing supplied by Catwalk Fashions. Kate's Hair and Aesthetics provided by Maffeo Salon.